Okay, so I've had a chance to listen to the classic vinyl series release of Moanin by Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, and I have to say I'm very impressed. I compared it to my Analogue Productions version there, the double 45 RPM version, and the pressing is reasonably flat, not 100% flat, but I mean it's there or thereabouts. You don't notice it. Surface noise is very low, not as low as the Analogue Productions, but I did clean it. I cleaned it on my Clear Audio Smart Matrix record cleaner, which is excellent, does a great job, and yeah, it was almost there. It was almost the same as the AP, but a little bit more noise from a little bit more surface noise than the AP. How did it compare sound-wise? There wasn't a lot in it, to be honest. I played Moanin 3 times on each version, just to. I think it takes a few plays before you start noticing the differences. Although the differences on that particular track were fairly obvious. The Analogue Productions, maybe because it's on 45 RPM, so it's a whole side, as opposed to on the classic series version it's one track of 3 on the first side. But certainly the instruments had more space and air around them. I think the soundstage was possibly a little wider as well. Just a little more palpable sense of the instruments being there with the Analogue Productions compared to the classic series. But I checked on Discogs, and you've got to pay 160 euros now for this version because it's out of print, and there's not 100 and what would it be, 135 euros difference between the two. That's for sure. If you can't pick up the Analogue Productions version, which I would highly recommend, but if you can't, this is a worthy alternative. Sounds really, really good. A 25, well, it's not 25 euros, is it? It's 25 pounds, so 25 pound, 30 euros ish record. It sounds fantastic. I played the Drum Thunder Suite, and again, slightly more air around the instruments on the Analogue Productions version, but you know what? There wasn't a lot in it. There was not a lot in it. So for a record costing £25, it sounds fantastic. It's a great release. It really is. It's just a shame about the cover. I don't like what they've done with the cover, with the text. I much prefer the original with the text down the side, as per the original Reed Miles. I don't like what they've done with it, but that's nitpicking. If you want a good sound copy of this record, I'd highly recommend this. I really would. I played it on a Technics SL7. Actually, one thing I did pick up, now it's not the SL7, I know it's not, but one thing I did pick up was it sounded like, you know when you get flutter on a record, like, and you hear it on sustained piano notes and sustained guitar notes. It had a tiny bit of that, and I noticed it at the beginning of Moanin. And I compared it to the Analogue Productions. I didn't get it on that, and I know it's not the record player because that's got rock solid speed. There's no the speed stability of that SL7 is fantastic. So it is the record, but you know what? You don't. If you're not listening for it, you probably won't notice it. I was listening for it because I find I hear that kind of thing acutely, so unfortunately, but other, you know, like I said, £25 for that, £25, €30 for that release. It's very, very good quality, very good quality, and I haven't listened to the whole LP. I just listened to track 1 side 1 and track 1 side 2. They weren't quite as good as the Analogue Productions, but you know what, they weren't far off. So yeah, if you can still get it is my recommendation, and thanks for watching.